6 of my crafting podcast. This is my fortnightly vlog about knitting, crochet, yarn dyeing, spinning, weaving and anything else that seems like a good idea at the time. I'm here in North Yorkshire in the north of England, where I live with my husband, our 3 daughters and our 3 cats. You can find me on social media. On Instagram I'm Mel Brown Crafting Podcast and also Creative Escape Retreats, and on Ravelry I am Funky40. We also have a group for the podcast on Ravelry where you can find the show notes and things like that. So if there's anything that I say today that you're interested in hearing more about, click on the link down below this video and it will take you over to Ravelry. Okay, domestic's over. So it's giveaway day today. I'm very excited. I'm just going to crack on through the where are they nows. Before we do that, oh, got a bit of yellow fibre up my nail. Right, so where are they now? What's happened to the projects that you've seen in the last episode? Well, first of all, there's the memories blanket, my old friend. I haven't picked that up. Well, I might have done. But on that note, if you've watched before, you might know that I was doing it all on 3mm needles, and then the most recent layer, because I'm going outwards in layers, the most recent one I did with a 2.75 because I wanted to switch to TPNs, and that was all I had. I've decided they're noticeably smaller, so I'm going to try and do is when I finish this particular round, there's another 9 squares or something, I'm going to switch back to 3, but I'm going to see if I can decide what DPNs I want. Carbons I'm using at the moment probably work quite well, and order a set of them so that I can start back on 3. So this one sort of slightly skinnier layer, and it'll, with blocking, and it's sock yarn, so it'll all block out fine, it won't really notice. But just thinking that that small difference over, you know, several squares is actually going to make it smaller. Though. So I'm going to go back to the 3mm. Anyway, that's the only thing with the memories, my old friend. Number 2, less is more. So this is an Amy King pattern, crochet pattern for a cardigan. And I have been making it with hand spun and often hand dyed yarn. So I was on the sleeves, and this project is taking way longer than it should do really. But I've added in the yarn that I showed you last time. So there was a slightly darker yarn here, which was the aubergine yarn here, and then there's the rest of the yarn. Yeah, it's not very easy to show you on this, is it? Is that better? That's better. So that's the whole of the sleeve now, and it's finished on this bright red, which is absolutely brilliant because what I want to do is link it to the bottom of the main part, which is this. So what I need to do really now is to dye up one more bunch, 100 grams of fibre, to have in it the pink and the bright red, and then that will kind of, or I could just go straight to the bright red, I guess, could I? What do you think? Straight to that? Don't know. I mean, if they finish in more or less the same sort of family of colours, it's all right, isn't it? Well, it's all right anyway, you know what I mean. So let me show you what it looks like. I can't put it on properly because the sleeves obviously are linked together, but I can show you how long the sleeve is. I've got a hole in the armpit there, I need sewing up. So we're up to there. It's just, I don't think I need to do any more decreases. So yeah, one more 100 grams should do it. And then I'll be finished with this, which has been a long time coming, long time. And of course it's not exactly heavy jumper weather, but that's okay because that's one of the great things about autumn. I don't like winter, I much prefer summer and spring, but I quite like autumn because first of all I get to start my Christmas knitting, or I get to ramp up my Christmas knitting and crocheting, but also I get to start wearing things that I haven't been able to wear for a while. Usually it's socks, and of course this year it'll be jumpers as well. So that is progress with that. I think if I actually pulled my finger out, I could get that finished in the next 2 weeks. you do need to do that, but it involves dyeing, spinning, and then knitting, which, you know, I can do that. Okay, so that's work in progress number 2. Number 3 is Lula. Where are you? Oh, there you are. My Gemma B Makes bag. Autumn in Nidderdale bag. So yeah, this is just pottering on. It's a long, slow project. So it's got a 6-row pattern, and you just keep going and going and going until you run out of yarn. So yeah, you're not going to be able to see much progress on this until it's long enough to go around my neck, I guess. And the colours, I'm not sure if you can see the subtle shift from white to blue. Yeah, it's getting there. It's lovely. I really enjoy it. It's very easy to pick up and just get on with. It's a beautiful leaf pattern, and it's silk and merino. It's really, really nice. It smells nice too, actually. I don't know what it smells of. Washing powder. Anyway, there it is. Really lovely. That's going to be a long-term one as well. That's one of my first Christmas projects, because actually, let's think, next week I'm going to go see my mum-in-law. So what I'll do is I'll show it to her, and then I'll know if it's a Christmas present or not. If it isn't, if she doesn't like it, then I'll just be making it to put in the present drawer. But if she does like it, it'll probably be a proper Christmas present, so that'll be good. Ooh. Excuse me. I suffer from anxiety at night, insomnia and then anxiety. And on Saturday, I was so tired, but I didn't sleep till gone 2:30. And I just really haven't quite recovered from it yet. Right. The 4th one is the mystery crochet along. This is Stash of Stones mystery crochet along with the crochet project. So if you're doing that and you don't want, you know, spoiler alert, basically. So where are we at? Probably clue 2. And clue 3 pretty much told us what was going to happen for the rest of the project, because they've mentioned that it was going to be symmetrical. So we had clue 1, which is a triangle. Then went on to clue 2, and now this is basically just leftover sock yarn. And it's such a well-timed project for me, because, as you know, if you've watched before, I've not been buying yarn until the 1st of July. So you can see, oh, look at this, look at that. I tell you what, when I first found Zalba Ball, it was love at first sight, certainly from my viewpoint anyway. Absolutely loved it. And there's a particular type that they do, Zalba Ball Crazy, which you might have seen. Gemma B Makes, one of my favourite podcasters, is obsessed with that at the moment, which is kind of mild yarn. But they do a colour type or a yarn type called Zalba Ball 100, and it's a slow transition of colour. So it's not a gradient like the Lula, where it starts with one colour and takes a whole ball to go through to the other, but it's a slow change, not a quick self-striping. And you can see the effect of that here. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Here's another part of it, but that I didn't have much left. I must have misweighed that. So basically, the whole thing is, from a accuracy standpoint, my whole project is a cock-up, because they told you at the beginning it's a scrap project and you can use up bits and pieces or whatever you fancy. But they also said that what they'd used, and they'd used 35 grams here, 15 grams here, whatever, so you knew how to do it so that it would be symmetrical. And I thought I'd weighed all that out, but this one here on the end, you use 35 grams for this corner, and obviously you can use 35 grams for the other corner, right, the other end. But they actually said they used 100 grams of that, because they also put a 15 gram bit in the middle, but I managed to miss that out in my mind. So I've got 35 grams here, so I've got I had 70 grams altogether. That's perfect, 35 and 35. But then I went ahead and used the 15 here, and then of course I didn't have enough left, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it symmetrical, and I'd cocked it up. So I then just started putting in what I thought was going to be the prettiest. I got to use this, which is the Fibre Spates Fairy Wings, which I used for the last mystery cowl that I did with the crochet project. That was the echo chamber. That was what was left over. I've put 1 or maybe 2 squares on my blanket, but this I had actually put over here. So after this one came this one, and they were just too similar. I did a couple of rows and I thought, they're both really lovely yarns, but they're not going to shine. And I texted Gemma and said, what am I going to do? And she said, oh, rip it out, which I did. And it's got mohair in it, so it was a real beast. Oh, it was awful. Have you ever ripped out mohair before? So the little hairy bit sticking out just kind of felt to each other, so as you're pulling it, they don't all just come undone nicely like they do with other yarns. They just kind of tangle up, and every sort of 5th stitch or so you have to fiddle with it. Oh. So 2 whole rows, but it was definitely worth it because it looks so much better. It really shines next to that one. So what I believe I have next is just that corner, and I'm going to do that with this, which is interesting. That's Beehive Yarns, which is going to sit right next to this one, and these two were partners in the other mystery cowl, the echo chamber. That's interesting. Hadn't realised I'd done that. So then, yeah, just finish off the corner, and then that's going to be done. So it's a rectangular drapey business thing, which is going to be a really nice size. And I'm already planning my second one because it's a scrap project. So whilst, you know, they've told you what you need to weigh out and stuff, just so that you get the hang of it. Once you already know the pattern, it's not a mystery anymore. I can just use any scraps that I want to. I'm delighted with that, and so I'll also dye some more to go with it as well. So I'm definitely going to be making more of those. And Gemma's stash of shells is done with hand spun. I like the idea of doing that as well. Little bits of leftover hand spun. Mine isn't very consistent, so I don't know how that would work, but I don't really care. It will be lovely. So that is all I've got on at the moment. And I think this might be the first time, maybe not the first time ever, but definitely the first time in ages that I've had the same 4 works in progress 2 episodes in a row. Because I haven't started anything new and I haven't finished anything. That's unusual, isn't it? You long-suffering, sorry. Faithful watchers. The only other thing that I have started isn't really much of a project, but do you remember I showed you the weave that my brother started when he was here a few weeks ago, and I finished it off for him? Well, I took it off the loom and I weaved the ends in. Weaving in the warp threads is the worst, but I did it with crochet hook in the end because it just really annoys me. So there it is, and I'm just crocheting quite a stiff back for it because it's going to be a coaster. So it's the same cotton. I got it in a swap, and that's quite stiff, so it's not an awful lot of fun. I'm on the 10 crochet single double 10 stitches and then an increase round of this. So I just need to carry on with that basically and finish that, and then I'll get Linda to sew it together for me. Oh, I'm so sorry. So that's the only other thing I've started. I haven't put a project on for it. It's not a project really. Okay, right, enough. Let's talk about the giveaway. Oh, better go get the yarn, hadn't I? So this is the Shark Attack colourway. It's a one-off because it wasn't exactly planned. Some quite strong patches here and there. Anyway, this is standard sock yarn, 75%, 25%, and it is going to, you ready? Should find my list. Oh, this is what I've done with it. It's behind me. That's no use. So, the winner is Pam Science, and she's from Canton, Ohio. So, well done, Pam. How exciting. So this little beauty is going to wing its way over to you. If you would contact me on Ravelry or email me, my email address is here. and tell me your postal address, then I will post it out to you. Isn't it gorgeous? Well done. Well, that giveaway was really, really exciting. I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to do that again soon. Really had fun. So, right, that's the giveaway. So one of the reasons that I haven't started any new projects or finished anything is the Tour de Fleece. So if you haven't watched before, this is a spinning event which is coordinating with the Tour de France. So every day that the cyclists, well, every day the event's on, we're spinning, aiming to just spin as much as we can, concentrate on it, develop skills, all that kind of stuff. And I certainly have been. So what I did was, so I'm going to put a picture in here of the fibre that I dyed a couple of weeks ago for the Tour de Fleece. And then I have actually spun all of that, and it is all spun and plied. So let's start with the purple, and then the blue, and then the green, and then the yellow, and then the orange, and then the red. Now the red isn't soaked and thwacked yet, that's just, I only applied it last night. You'll notice that there isn't a huge difference between the yellow and the orange. More of a difference in real life than there is on camera, but still not a huge difference. And you might also notice this isn't a classic rainbow red, it's more of a pink. But that might yet be useful, because my plan with these yarns is to make a jumper with them. Now I haven't made it before, so I've got no idea what yardage it will need. The size it goes up to in the pattern isn't going to be big enough for me, so I'm going to have to upsize it from there. So I've got no idea what meterage I'll need, and I don't know. It's a pattern that requires chunky yarn. I think this is probably quite close to chunky yarn. I looked at the yardage, meterage of chunky yarns, and I'm getting, for about 100 grams, I'm getting just over 200 meters. No, that's just over 200 meters of singles. So it's about half. That's just over 100 meters of yarn, because it's 2-ply. So sock yarn is roughly 400 meters for 100 grams. So double knit is roughly 200 meters, and chunky is roughly 100 meters. So I think it is roughly chunky yarn, but I don't know how much I'm going to need. So if I actually do crochet in all of this and I still need more, then I can easily dye a bright red, which will sit on the end. So it'll be a 7th colour, which obviously is correct, as it's meant to be 7. It's just meant to be 2 at this end rather than this end, but that's fine. Nobody will notice. Nobody can stop me in the road and say, hey, your rainbow is not right. So just dropped it on the floor now. Right, so that's the plan. I'm gonna have to drop it on the floor because I now need to see my notes. So I've done quite a lot. I've been working really hard at it, and I'm kind of going to slow down now because I'm getting a bit jaded with it. You know, when you've done something so much. And I started, I was so excited and couldn't wait to spend loads of time spinning, and that's been lovely. But I'm just kind of ready to back off a bit now. So I'm going to take it a bit easier. I've got that rainbow fibre that Linda gave me. I showed you that last time. I'm going to spin that. And of course I need to dye and then spin the fibre for the less is more. I really want to prioritise that. Maybe do that this week. And then the rainbow yarn, at the end of that, I want to, when I've done all that, I want to have a undyed matching 100 grams to ply with it. So there's a kind of light rainbow. Anyway, that's what I'm planning there. So that really is it for projects, and it's a really short episode because I haven't got much to show you. Yeah, so that's pretty much the craft content. I'm going to talk a little bit about personal stuff now, so if you're only here for the craft, then thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty down today. Um, Started last night really. My youngest daughter's got knits, head lice, and it's really knocked me for six because she had it a couple of weeks ago and we thought we'd got rid of them. And then again last night she's got them. And we've got three daughters and they've all, most of their lives, had fairly long hair. And we went through a period when they were all at primary school where we had head lice here for a year. Every day I combed their hair, and every day, every week I treated their hair, and we would just keep getting it back, and it was just so soul destroying. And I guess that's just kind of knocked my mood a little bit. I'm also because the older two children did their exams this year. Talk of head lice and already itching. The older two did exams this year. They've both been finished with school since mid-June. So they've been in the house. I mean, they stay in their rooms a lot of the time, but I'm not on my own in the house. And do you need time on your own? I need time on my own. I mean, part of that's being autistic, but part of it's age as well. I just need to have time on my own. And with my husband working from home when he's not travelling, I only get it when he's travelling, but now I don't get it at all because they're here all the time. They're not. We live in a village. They don't go out much because you can't get anywhere. It costs a fortune to go anywhere on the bus. And whilst the eldest does drive my car, most of her friends, yeah, she's been to see them a couple of times, but the middle one, she doesn't have any access to transport apart from the bus. So they're here a lot of the time, and it's lovely to have them around, but it means I don't get any time on my own. I think that's having a bit of an effect on me. And the eldest at the moment is in Europe. She's been interrailing in Italy, France and Spain. She's coming back on Friday and we can't wait to see her, but it's the first time she's been away. She's going away in September for uni, so she'll be away for 10, 12 weeks at a time. So it's a kind of stepping stone to that really, but it's a weird feeling. So that's probably a lot of what's going on for me. But there's, as with all mental illness, there's no real reason, you know. It's not like, oh, I'm feeling down because of this. And people who've never had illness, mental illness, often say, you know, what you're depressed about or what you're anxious about. It's not really like that. You just feel, I just feel low, and just normal stuff, you know, makes me happy all the time. I love knitting, I love crochet, I love teaching. I don't have anything bad in my life at all. But it doesn't make me happy some days, and I just need to get through this stage. The constant fight with Annie as well, not fight with Annie, but fighting with Annie sometimes, but always fighting for Annie, takes its toll as well. Have you got a special needs child? I've got an autistic child, and just always fighting school and trying to get her needs met, trying to make sure I balance her needs, what she needs today, with what she needs long term. You know, and she wakes up in the morning and she feels rubbish and she feels sick at the thought of going into school with all those people. The best thing for her today is to stay home, but stuck up a few days like that, and on an ongoing basis, that's threatening what's good for her long term, because she wants to have a career, she needs a degree. And she can't get a degree unless she's got A levels, and she can't get A levels unless she's got GCSEs, and she's not going to get GCSEs unless she's in school. So yeah, balancing what she needs today with what she needs long term is a daily struggle, and trying to get other people, the school particularly, to understand what she needs and to help me to give her what she needs. Anyway, I think what I need to do is to start some new projects. The finishing off that fibre project is good, so I think I'll spin the little rainbow next, and that'll be a nice new project. But I also want to get the less is more finished. I've got another jumper that I actually got yarn for Christmas. It's another one from that book where the Janelle was. What's it called? Bettina. I've got the yarn for that. I need to get started on that. And you know, I showed you last night that beautiful pink yarn with the purple sprinkly bits. It's called is it Flip Flop Weather? My friend Adriana sent that to me, mystery sock thingy bob from Dina's Crafts or something. We've decided to do Flying North with that together, so as soon as she's ready I'll wind mine up and we'll do that together. I think that'll make me happy. I've got a couple of plans for Christmas projects. My youngest daughter has chosen the socks she wants me to make with the pink yarn that I dyed that she fell in love with. And my eldest daughter has chosen a crochet top she wants me to make, and she wants me to dye some yarn in this colour for her, some sock yarn. It's what it is, sock weight yarn. So I'll do that. So lots of little things to start, but I'm trying to hold off starting Christmas knitting just yet. But yeah, I need to start some new projects and get myself boosted. So there we go. That's me rambling. Okay, well, welcome to everybody who's new, because there's quite a few new subscribers, probably because of the giveaway. I hope we can keep you. And next time, I expect there's going to be a whole rash of new projects to show you. But anyway, please get in touch. Please give me a comment and say what you liked, what you thought. If you want to find out more, as I said before, click below and that will take you across to Ravelry. And there are clickable links to all the patterns and the people and all that kind of stuff. I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Happy crafting. Thanks for watching.